All right, so we're going to focus on a couple key commands in chapter 13 or chapter 19. All right, so just show an example here. The command prompt here, you got your different properties. Again, we can change our font. So if we want a larger font, we can do that. So I'm just making it a little larger so we can see kind of what's going on. So as an example, we can do ipconfig, and then that shows us our IP address, our way out the door, things like that. So we can do /?. This will show us all our different settings. So here's some of our different switches. We can go all, so show us all the detail. We can go release. So that means if we are using DHCP, we can release the IP address back to the DHCP server. And then if we do 6, that'll do DHCP server IP6, renew, and renew with a 6 again, 4 and 6. DNS flush basically purges the DNS cache in our machine. And so these are some of the different other switches we can do. So typically an IP config, and then let's take a look at an all. Again, this does not hurt anything with your machine. This is just informational commands. So here, this gives you more detailed. It tells you which your IP address is your DNS server, what your lease time is, your IP address, and all that fun stuff. All right. So clear or CLS in Windows will clear the screen, and then NS look up. Here's an example. There's the IP address. We can say MSN, and then it tells us the IP address. Again, there are more switch settings you can do. You can specify which server you want to connect to. This is just to give you an idea on the information. And then we can do trace cert to MSN. Again, this is a command that just shows us how many different networks we're going through to get out to where we're at. So that's what that's for. It will go up to 30 hops, and that's it, because it's legacy, because that's what RIP would do back in the day. And it's going to take its time. And then here's just showing you the names of the different servers you're connecting to. So there's the IP of the gateway I'm connected to, and so on. So these are pretty, this is a good way of knowing, is it your problem or you're not your problem. So an example, you may have large multi-routed network where you have to go through multiple networks to get out. So it's a quick way of knowing, is this problem internally to you or is it an external problem that you can't get to this site. So that's it. So I'm just going to cancel out of this, so instead of sitting here watching it bake. And then ping and / will give you the help. So a couple options I like -T. So it means it doesn't continue ping until you tell it to stop, is one of the ones I use. So like an example, I can do ping msn.com, and there we can see, so we can see two things right here. Since we ping by name, so it had to, for it to work, it had to look up our DNS. So we know the DNS server worked because it got the IP address, and our machine sent out 4 pings. And then you can do a -T, and that's continue a ping. So a lot of times if I'm updating my router or my switch, I will do a ping -T to it, just so that way I know when it reboots, and then have an idea when it starts working. Because a lot of times the management interface doesn't come up right away, but the interface, all the network interfaces do come up. So it gives me an idea. Oh, okay, the management interface is not up yet, but it's getting close, because now I can ping it. So those are a couple different ways you can do the pings. Again, it's a quick, short little command to cover the commands in chapter 19. All right, see you guys in class.